AgriBusiness Forum.
I would like to thank AgriBusiness Forum and all of you who are here and are patient enough to stay with us until now. And I would also like to thank Mr. Kassimis for his kind words.
Είμαι και μέλος του Διοικητικού Συμβουλίου του ΕΛΓΑ και έχω λοιπόν μια συνολική εικόνα.
And I would like to share with you the big picture of the impact of climate change in Greek agriculture. On the basis of data available so far, we see that the consequences of climate change in the past year further deteriorate, considering the amounts that we at ELGA, the Greek Agricultural Insurance Organization, has disbursed. Up to 2015, compensations that were being paid by ELGA to its beneficiaries did not exceed the revenues of our organization. This meant that it did not go beyond 140 million euro. With a budget of 165 million euro, we would give 20 to 25 million euro to address the standard fixed costs and the hail protection system in Central Macedonia and Thessaly. So, after 2015, as of the year 2016, those phenomena became more pronounced, and we saw that farmers would claim more compensations, and that amount exceeded this 140 million euro budget we had per year. Up until 2020, this number equaled up to 160 million euro in compensation. But further damage was caused by rainfall. And ELGA decided that this type of damages could not be covered by our insurance benefits, and they keep refusing to compensate farmers. Personally, I believe that we shouldn't do that. I believe that we should compensate them. Now, you do realize that when we talk about heavy rainfalls and all those extreme weather phenomena that have further been aggravated, Yiannakakis, Thalia phenomena, are more pronounced, and it was thanks to the state aids that were given to ELGA that those farmers received a compensation. Last year, we paid approximately 360 million euro, and this year, the registered damages exceed 250 million. We managed to keep our organization alive thanks to the following fact. Since 2011, our legislation provided for the income, for the revenues of ELGA, apart from farmers' contributions, could also come from subsidies from the Ministry of Rural Development. That could amount up to 20% of the overall revenue collected by ELGA. So we talk about 32 million euro per year. After 2011, the Greek state, I don't know if it's for good or what is for better or worse, given that we had enough contributions paid by farmers, the state did not have to pay that. And then we saw that that was a substantial deficit. So we decided to collect retroactively those money sums in order to meet our needs. But this money is not limitless. So we do realize that we are being faced with problems of survival. Measures need to be taken, measures that will increase the revenue and of the organization. But considering the legal form of our organization, this is practically impossible because we're a legal person governed by private law, and therefore all insurance companies would refuse to pay that because they say, okay, that you give this money to a certain organization, and if it's a legal person governed by private law, you should as well compensate Inter-American or other insurance private companies. Those are issues that need to be addressed by the government in the upcoming year. Now, the phenomena described before became even worse, and this led to substantial problems for our farmers, because those compensations are not being paid directly. There is always a delay in their payment. So a substantial number of farmers had to sell their products in order to ensure liquidity, even in the black market. And as a result, we saw some members withdrawing from organization, withdrawing from cooperatives, because they preferred to be able to sell their products in the black market without any invoice, without any registration of the sale. For the time being, thanks to the intervention of the central organization and discussions with the government, Mr. Vasiropoulos, we managed to slow down this leakage of members. But we know that we have farmers who are not full-time farmers, and they realize that they no longer have a motivation or an incentive to give out their products in the black market in order to avoid taxes. But this does not mean that we have also addressed the problem of liquidity or the right disposal and allocation of our agricultural products. I'm talking about my region, Imathia. We suffered substantial damage from heavy rainfall. So there is a disruption in the organized trade system. Now, apart from the loss of products from cooperatives, and this is a problem that also affects the private sector, because they have to buy those products and to regularly invoice their clients. There's also another issue with the sustainability of cooperatives and private businesses, because when you lose your product, it means that your turnover is decreased, and therefore that affects your sustainability. This also led to financing problems and lending capacity by bankings. And apart from the primary sector, we also see that the packaging and processing sectors have been affected as well. No need to talk about the shortage in manpower, which is a colossal problem in our sector. This year in our sector, we had to have 2 shifts only in our packaging system rather than 3 shifts, or if we wanted to have 3 shifts, we had fewer people working there, meaning that there were shortages. And you know that when we have the rainfall or drought period during the summertime, these methods were not able to meet the collection and the products retrieval process. And apart from production reduction problems, we are also being faced with issues that have to do with quality, because things that we were able to save, let's say, from the rainfall this summer are fragile quality-wise. So we see that they are kept in fridges, and there are problems because they're fragile. They might go bad or rot on their way to the sales point. So this means that the reliability and quality of our product are affected. Those are the main issues that affect agricultural production and the sustainability and integrity of the entire mechanism. So something needs to be done. We cannot wait for farmers' contributions to increase at least the level that would allow us to pay those compensations. And of course, the state is unable to constantly pay those compensations because we know that funds are not enough. Measures are necessary in order to support the income of farmers and businesses when it is needed. And on the other hand, we also need to protect the farmers. It is therefore an imperative need to see whether we can build on the existing infrastructure, protection against hail, systems that are implemented in France, where they have meteorological balloons launched in the air that protect crops from hail, with specific protective measures Dimitra is going to prepare a proposal about how we can make the right interventions in the field to prevent congestion phenomena due to the rainfall and prevent fruit from falling off the tree, and we saw that that was effective. Either we could also have, let's say, dust placed on the sides of the field in order to decompress the soil, or there are also compressed air injection machines that help soil breathe better. So what we need is experimental applications, technical solutions in order to address these issues and save our production. And so we also need to consider our options through the European funds. Right now, there is another pilot application when it comes to peach crops. The comments were off the microphone, so measure number 17 provides a compensation for income that is lost due to various conditions. This is something that had been included in the previous rural development program, and now we believe that it's imperative need to further support this measure to put it under test, and that's why we try to do that in the case of peach, because we know that producers are well organized there, and if this model is successful, we're going to extend it to cover all the other types of crops. Therefore, thanks to the European subsidies and support, we will be able to support and compensate farmers for lost income due to those various conditions. At the same time, we need to see what will happen with the hail protection nets, with the glacier protection measures. In France, they have such systems in place using water. What do we do in Greece? Nothing. We need to see what will happen with the hail protection nets. In the previous tender, there was an interest for 6 million. Now we launched a tender for 15 million nets. Now we actually need 34 million, and we see whether there's a possibility of receiving a subsidy for that, but there's a weakness in that. And the question is how quickly we can have the right approvals in order to install all those systems. But a strategic plan is also required. I know that Spain and other countries have drafted a plan to tackle climate change. For example, have kiwis and other type of fruit. In winter time, they need to be preserved in cold conditions. In the case of stone fruits, we need to consider what will happen in the upcoming 10 years, because the average temperature per season has increased. So what will happen? Some crops will not be able to yield fruit. Maybe we need to transfer those plants, but no relevant planning whatsoever has been in place. And this is why university institutions, state institutions, in collaboration with cooperatives, should draft such a plan so that we know what we plant, where we plant it, and what we should avoid.
So all this is necessary. It must happen in order to tackle climate change and, of course, in a structured way and systematic way save our product, because we don't care so much about the compensations, because the compensation is a very small part of the cost that we have incurred, and we lose our added value because we cannot export the product, we cannot employ our human resources, and we lose clients. When we go to international expos, we do our best to find clients. It's a pity to lose them because there is no product. So it's an absolute necessity for the government to prepare a plan to tackle climate change in the agri-food sector. That's all on my part. Thank you.